We expected them to bring the video from Amsterdam with them for us to review because, I mean, we may be two of the only people that can point out where we were sitting, where this desk was, where they were taking the tickets, what point it was that we saw this or Kurt really saw this happen. And when Kurt inquired about that, they just said no comment. And Kurt then said to them, wouldn't that be the best place to start here? I mean, instead of going through hours and hours of video, I can point it out immediately. I was only at the gate for like an hour. No comment. He then asked if they had a video at all, if it existed. No comment. We almost felt like they were there because of media pressure. A lot of the newspapers and radio shows we had spoken to were asking us, has the FBI been back? That's kind of ludicrous. They haven't contacted you again. And we would say, no, they haven't been back yet, but we're happy to talk to them. And I think it just kind of filtered back to them. And they said, oh, we need to go talk to these people or the media is going to be all over us about it. They didn't ask us anything different than what they had asked us in the airport, with the exception of showing us the series of strange pictures.
So are either one of are you kind of under the impression now that there's not really been a real investigation into this whole thing?
No, I mean, I think there's been a investigation, but I don't think that they're investigating everything, and I think that they're completely ignoring our claims.
I guess kind of what I'm getting at is, are they just going through the motions of an investigation, or do you really think they're trying to get it to the truth of the matter?
No, I don't think they're trying to get to the truth of the matter. On the man before the flight we saw, I have no idea why they're not trying to. On that man, I don't really have any theories on that.
That seems to me like that would be one of the most important things that you'd want to get to the bottom of, because that really is the key to the whole investigation, I would think.
You would think. I mean, all they need to do is show this video and either prove that Kurt's wrong and he was mistaken and this individual was not the terrorist, it was someone else, which I highly doubt because there were very few African Americans on our plane. I mean, Kurt and I think maybe like 5 to 10, maybe. And
how many people were on the flight?
I think there was 278 plus the cabin crew. So, I mean, it's not like the whole flight was African Americans and Kurt could be confused. And if they show the video and Kurt is correct, then the man with the terrorist is probably going to be the most wanted man in the world, and we should show his face so people can figure out who he is and we can find him. But they're not showing the video. We found it interesting that the incident that just occurred in Newark recently, they released the video from that like the next day. They had it ready. They're showing the public what happened with the security breach. However, the biggest thing to happen since 9/11, they're not showing any of the video at all, and they're not showing it to the two witnesses that could just point it out and make this easy for them.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the other thing with regard to the fact that the terrorist was able to get on the plane in the first place without a passport, because I find it interesting that the government now immediately has a solution to all of this, and the solution is these scanners that show you without your clothes, and I mean, very detailed images, showing the shape of your everything that you have, and and this is not something that would even have stopped this guy, because as you guys have pointed out, and it's such an important, what you witnessed that day is so important, because you provide the key piece to the puzzle. And the fact that this guy got on the flight without a passport in the first place is just absolutely remarkable to me.
Yeah, I mean, when Obama's report came out, I think it's the first time that I got really angry because, I mean, it seems to me like they're admitting there was fault with the system. They're admitting that this could have been stopped if protocol and all the rules would have been followed. They're admitting that people that our tax dollars pay for jobs just weren't doing their jobs properly, and that's why we almost died. Yet then he comes out and says he's not firing anybody. He's not making any major changes. He's going to let everybody deal with this internally. And I'm like, well, that basically means then they're hoping that the American public will forget about this soon and we'll just continue things the way they were with nobody doing their jobs properly.
With the exception of now they're going to be scanning everybody at the airport and seeing them naked.
And do we really need that? I mean, if we were following all the rules that we had in place in the first place for these agencies, they probably would have stopped this guy from getting on the plane. He would have had to show his passport. You know, you have to show a passport to get on an international flight. It's not rocket science, you know. And this would have never happened if they would have just followed all of the rules. However, we always go around all of the rules, and that's when these things happen. It's just absurd to us, and you know, we're both just getting more and more angry.
To make more rules. The solution is to follow the ones you have on the books already. Hey, we have a caller now, folks. If you'd like to call in, by the way, it's 800-313-9443. That's 800-313-9443. John C. Go ahead.
Hello, Kurt. Hi, Lori.
Hi.
Listen, I'm a former Michigander. I lived in Southgate for years. I moved in the 90s to Tennessee. I've got a couple questions. First of all, the local talk radio up there used to be XYT. Is there any mention of this? Are they covering this at all?
On local talk radio up here?
Yeah, WXYT.
I'm not sure what station that is. Lori and I don't actually listen to a lot of talk radio, but I will say this. We've been on the local TV shows a few times, Channel 7 and Channel 4. We've been on Fox News. We've been on the Frank Beckman Show twice. I believe that's AM 760. We've been on the radio in Grand Rapids and Traverse City, and maybe some more that I can't think of. So we have been on some shows around here.
Okay, well, the reason that I'm asking is to kind of, you know, I worked in Detroit for years delivering gasoline back when Reagan was president and Carter. You know, I moved in '93. Michigan is a famous area, and a lot of times when I would go into these air-owned gas stations, we do this all the time, and when they said that, you knew that something was up. So that struck me when you said this Indian man said we do this all the time and then was sent down the hallway. To me, it looks like
hold it right there, John. Hold it.
I'm more interested.
We have to take a break here. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us, folks.